Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX with me, Devika Chopra. The bail hearing of Chinmoy Krishna Brahmachari, a Hindu priest accused of sedition in Bangladesh, has been postponed to the 2nd of January 2025 as no lawyers were able to appear in the court for his hearing. Meanwhile, ISKCON has claimed that the Bangladeshi lawyer who was appointed to defend Das, Mr. Ramen Roy, was in fact attacked by radical Islamists at his home. He has now been admitted to the ICU and is in a critical condition. Meanwhile, an advocate, Regan Acharya, has been seriously injured within court premises in Chittagong while seeking to appear in the bail hearing of Chinmoy Das. Parallelly, reports are indicating that 70 Hindu lawyers across various courts in Chittagong have been falsely sued under the Explosion Act to stop them from defending Chinmoy Das. The Bangladesh Samilita Sanatani Jagran has alleged that this legal action is an attempt to sabotage their advocacy efforts. This, of course, cannot go on indefinitely. Who attacked Chinmoy Das's lawyer Ramen Roy and who is now ready to give the much needed assistance to Chinmoy Das? Joining me on the broadcast is Barrister Andaliv Rahman. He is chairman of the Bangladesh Jatiya Party. I want to begin by asking Mr. Rahman. Mr. Rahman, firstly, thank you for speaking to NewsX. I want to understand from you, sir, does the law of Bangladesh ensure the right of representation before a court of law?
Yes, it does. Yes, we do.
So, how is it that no lawyer is being allowed to represent Mr. Chinmoy Das?
Okay, this is something I just heard today now from you. No Bangladeshi media has covered it. If it happened, we don't know. You have to understand one thing, that is, these are not isolated happenings. This all started, what we see from here, that is part of a big plot of the fascist regime that fled to India. And you have to understand another thing, that is, when Mr. Chinmoy was arrested, one Bangladeshi lawyer, of course a Muslim lawyer, we have 190 million of Muslim population, was slaughtered by Hindu extremists. I would say any person would slaughter a person or take law in their own hands to such an extent, I would call them extremists, regardless of their religion. But again, and even after that, we as a nation, we are calm. As the Bangladesh National Party acting chairman Tariq Rahman is the largest political party, correctly said, and also addressed to the nation today, saying that we need to be calm, quiet, and see how things works. There is, of course, certain quarters who are exaggerating certain facts. We, Hindu, Christian, all other religion, we live under this country, under the same roof, and we protect our brothers. So if things, this practice that are not representing lawyers, not getting lawyers to represent your case, this has been going on last 2-3 months for different reasons. That is because of the Awami and the fascist regime led by Sheikh Hasina, who fled to India. People were upset with their workers and her party members to such an extent, we couldn't even find lawyers to represent them, and people would attack. This happened first month, and after that, things started cooling down. But today, what you said, I just came to know from you. If it is the case, it's pretty unfortunate, and we will make sure that things go in that way. But whatever is happening, and certain quarters, certain India media quarters, I would say, I'll not blame the complete, is actually trying to pose the fact that Hindus are under attack in this country and things are going that way. But to be quite honest, the reality is somewhat different. It is not happening like this. And true, Mr. Chinmoy was arrested. He happens to be a Hindu. It could have been a Muslim as well. And if he has all the good grounds to get a bail, and I'm sure the law will take the due
course. Mr. Rahman, he is not being represented before the court of law. You're saying grounds, if he has good grounds for a bail, this is a person who is a Hindu monk. And yes, in the past few months, when the atrocities on Hindus has risen, he has taken it upon himself to gather the community to demand justice, and today we are saying whether he has grounds or not. The point is that no court is willing to even hear his bail matter because there is no lawyer to represent him in Bangladesh.
That is completely disinformation. Whether a lawyer is present or not, that nothing to do with the court. I am sure that you have been misled, that no court is ready to hear. A person is also capable to present.
Are you saying that Indian media is lying about the fact that two lawyers have been attacked in Bangladesh?
I am not saying Indian media is lying. Indian media is, certain quarters of the Indian media is exaggerating the facts, which is not the ground reality.
Mr. Rahman, have you seen the visuals that have come of Mr. Ramen Roy, who was supposed to be the lawyer of Chinmoy Krishna Das?
Actually, no, I haven't seen. And our media here in Bangladesh, the news is not there.
So would you say that the Bangladeshi media is in fact compromised?
I am not saying that. What I'm trying to say that whether the person was attacked or not, this is the case. We don't know. Our media.
How is it that what I'm surprised about is how is it that nobody in Bangladesh or you as a political leader of Bangladesh is not even aware that Chinmoy Krishna Das's case was not heard before the courts today and that the hearing has been postponed to the 2nd of January next year because no lawyer appeared for him.
Hearing can be postponed for various reasons. It's not necessary that hearing is only postponed because he's a Hindu monk. There are numerous of cases that's why hearings are postponed. Why do you have to say that he's a Hindu one? Why do you have to?
I'm not even saying that a Hindu monk's hearing has been postponed. I'm saying Chinmoy Das, who is a resident of Bangladesh, a citizen of Bangladesh, his hearing has been postponed because we have learned that no lawyer was allowed to represent him, and dramatic visuals have come of Mr. Ramen Roy lying unconscious in the ICU, and you're telling me today that nobody in Bangladesh is even aware of what's happened.
No, we're not. Ramen Roy could be there. Was he attacked? Or he had different reason to be there? I mean, in the ICU, he fell ill, he was attacked.
How is it that an absolutely healthy lawyer is suddenly in the ICU just a day before he's supposed to represent Chinmoy Krishna Das?
It's the only way you go to ICU when you're attacked. There's any other reason you can't go to ICU?
So you're essentially, Mr. Rahman, completely denying the fact that Ramen Roy was attacked by extremists.
I am not completely denying the fact that what I'm trying to say, that is our media. I don't know this. I just came to know it from you. I am not in, and I'm sure if you're saying that he's in ICU, of course he's in ICU if you're saying so, if you have that report or whatever. But there is no such report in Bangladesh in any media claiming that he was attacked and he was taken to ICU. There is no such news in this country as such. And another thing that is, why do you press too much on the fact that it's a Hindu person? I mean, why this religion card is being played in your media?
Okay.
Why is that?
Okay, Mr. Rahman, would you agree that it was under the successive governments of Bangladesh that an organization called ISKCON was allowed to establish its roots in Bangladesh, to establish itself in Bangladesh?
I mean, it's okay. I mean, if ISKCON
it's a very simple question, sir. Very simple question. Under successive governments of Bangladesh, was the ISKCON allowed to establish and flourish and set up various, its headquarters within Bangladesh, various offices within Bangladesh? Was it allowed to do that?
Well, ISKCON is here. ISKCON has been working
right, there for ISKCON is there. So why is it today, after so many years, that ISKCON and its priests are being targeted by the Bangladesh government to the point that their bank accounts have been frozen?
Oh, this is a normal practice because we have a case against Mr. Chinmoy of sedition, and this is a normal practice that the relevant authorities will go through everything, why the funds were used, whether there are any funds there which could be used against the country. There could be many things. So why are you trying to question the investigation of the country? I mean, what is wrong with investigation? If we conduct due diligence investigation, what is the problem with that? Why certain quarters in Indian media is trying to show that the Hindus are under trouble in this country? They are not. Just imagine what happened few
Mr.
days.
Rahman, have you seen the videos that have come out of Bangladesh?
Have you seen
Of the attacks that have taken place on Hindus, of temples being desecrated, of Hindu homes being attacked, of Hindus themselves being attacked?
Have you seen the Muslim lawyer that was slaughtered by ISKCON extremists, and after that the complete nation was quiet, calm? Aren't you going to give us any credit for that? The country of 190 million Muslim, where a Muslim lawyer was, when Mr. Chinmoy was arrested, was slaughtered by ISKCON extremists, and the whole country was calm, and all the politicians, including the Tariq Rahman of BNP, the acting chairman, he addressed the nation saying, keep calm and quiet, because this is basically, they're trying to provoke us from India. This is the fascist regime who fled to India, sitting there and trying to unsettle the government. That's it. And there's another thing. The Indian diplomacy seriously failed to the extent that last 15 years, they only kept relationship with a singular political party, not with the people of the country. So the people-to-people contact was not there. So when Sheikh Hasina fled this country, of course, people were unhappy with India, but we again appreciate the fact that India is our neighbor.
So you're unhappy with India, therefore you attack Hindus.
See, you're doing leading question. You can't do that. I've been doing this for 17 years.
So have I, sir.
Yeah.
You're an advocate, I'm a journalist.
You can't
Very
put
interesting
words
conversation here.
We are attacking Hindu. You say you yourself are pulling it to the Hindu. You didn't reply the fact that, have you seen the dead body of the person who was slaughtered here, the Muslim person? We never said a Hindu killed a Muslim. No, we didn't. We say that, okay, fine, Mr. Chinmoy was arrested and some quarter of the people were unhappy.
But we're not alleging that Muslims are attacking Hindus.
We are not.
You are saying that. It seems as though you are saying that.
One thing. We don't need any guardian from outside any other country, protecting our Hindus. Hindus are our brothers. We live here. Hindu fought in the liberation war with us, and we respect them, and they are our brothers.
Do you think that today, under the Mohammad Yunus government, there is an increase in radical extremist elements in Bangladesh?
Not at all. Not at all. You know what happened, I tell you. Basically, what happened when Awami League fled, when the fascist regime, the killer government fled and were given a safe exit to India, people were unhappy with India. It's okay. It's all right. It's understandable. But, there have been attacks. True, there have been attacks, reactions, and things on Awami League supporters. There could be Hindus there, but there were not Hindus were targeted. Of course, Awami Leagues were targeted all around the country, because of the 15 years atrocity, killing, forced disappearance, murders, atrocities they committed. So that's nothing to do with religion.
Do you think it's fair that Chinmoy Das is not getting representation and that he should be behind bars in jail?
Every person being a citizen and a lawyer of the country and a politician, every person should be represented. Now, if he's not being represented there, as I've heard it from you, again, our national newspapers are not covering it, or the media. Well, this is unfortunate, and I'm sure that the law will take its own course, and we have nothing against Mr. Chinmoy Das as such.
Okay, now, Mr. Rahman, now that you've learned from me, will you be looking into the matter?
Of course, I'll look into the matter. And
what
will
the Bangladesh Jatiya Party do about this?
Today in Dhaka University, we had a Hindu procession saying, India, you're overreacting, some of the medias. I would not say India, but we say overreacting. Some of the quarters overreacting probably to earn some cookie points in Indian politics, just to show that Bangladeshi Hindus are in trouble and they are beside us, and they are beside the Hindus. Just to, I was surprised to see Mamata Banerjee asking for the United Nations help in Bangladesh security force. Nothing is going on in this country, for God. There's nothing.
Mr. Das, are you denying the processions that have been taken out against Durga Puja, of Hindus being told that don't celebrate Durga Puja this year?
Look, I tell you one thing. 1%, 2%, 3% going to a mandir and telling them not to do it.
It's not one or two people, sir. There are videos that have come out. There's videographical evidence that has come out. We're playing it out on our screens right now. How mobs have gherawed out temples in Bangladesh. The Bangladeshi army and police force attacking Hindus in the middle of the night.
No, I don't know what. I tell you one thing. This approach of yours will take you further away from us. Stop it. Don't do this. I'm telling you. This approach in some of the parts of the Indian media will take you. You have done enough. You must come back to the, the Gujarat, the Gujarat doctrine you had. You are our neighbor. We are there. We have our self-respect. You have, right? And we'll be there. That's it. But are you there?
Yes, I am. Please go ahead.
I'm telling you, these are people hate Awami League now at this point of time, and people who were angry and upset because India supported this fascist regime which existed then for 3 terms. People are upset with it. Now India should realize to make contact with the people of the country. Yeah.
Why is it India's responsibility, sir?
I'm sorry?
Why is it India's responsibility? How is this India's responsibility? India, as a nation, as your neighbor, has to maintain relations with whatever government is there.
Because India interferes with our domestic politics.
India is interfering with your politics, and okay, so your allegation is that India has been interfering with Bangladeshi politics.
Yes, last 15, 16, 17 years.
How do you justify Mr. Yunus's connections with the Clintons and the Obamas in America?
Oh, that had his personal capacity. Mr. Clinton, Mr. Yunus is a global asset. He's a person of very high profile and dignity. He knew Obama, Clinton, everyone, years before you joined, as the head of this caretaker or interim government. Mr. Yunus is a world-renowned figure. So, his relationship was personal with America or the rest of the world. You can't compare that with your scenario with Bangladesh.
And he just happens to be the person who's chosen to lead the nation. As soon as Sheikh Hasina has fled the country, he just happens to be the person who's chosen to lead Bangladesh, and then he goes and introduces 3 students and says that this was not a spontaneous protest. However, it was a well thought out strategy of the students of Bangladesh to oust Sheikh Hasina. It's on record. He has said this on record.
What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? If it was a well thought one, well, what is wrong with that? Why do you think it's wrong? It's wrong. Sheikh Hasina was immensely unpopular in this country. She fled the country. She was prime minister 3 times without vote. And India supported it right and left. And when she fled, how come all her party members were there when she fled? How come they weren't there? Supposedly she was so powerful and so popular as such, and she was prime minister for 3 times. How come when she fled? How come her party members were not beside her? Why?
Do you think it's fair?
It's a well strategy by the students or whatever. So what is the problem with that? If Yusuf went
Mr. Rahman, do you think it's fair for Hindus in Bangladesh to live in fear simply because Sheikh Hasina has been ousted from the nation?
No, it's not. And they're not living in fear. We have Hindu procession going on every day, pledging to India, please stop it. Don't do this. We are fine. We had a Hindu. You know what? My student wing president is a Hindu. So
what does that prove?
That proves that we have nothing against them. We treat them as our brothers.
But you think that Hindu monks within ISKCON are terrorists?
Oh, I like the way you say it. You're trying to put words in my mouth, measuring me. I never said that. I said any Hindu.
I'm asking,
Muslim,
sir. I've never said that you've said it.
person-
I'm not saying that you've said it.
Look,
Don't be confused, please. I'm asking you a very pointed question.
Any person has nothing to do with religion. There's nothing called Muslim terrorist, Hindu terrorist, nothing like that. Any person or extremist, any person who take law in their own hands is an extremist, is a terrorist. It doesn't matter where Hindu.
How did Chinmoy Das or other people part of a peaceful protest take law into their own hands? Were they wrong to exercise their right to a protest and demand that Hindus be protected in the country?
Oh, he was not arrested for that. He was arrested because of a sedition charge where he put a certain flag over our flag. So that was a normal charge. I think the Hindu ISKCON reacted disproportionately trying to pose that he was arrested because he was a Hindu, which is untrue. Simple. And then they killed one of our brothers, and we didn't react. We never said that Hindu killed a Muslim. We said, fine, it was a mob, it was a mob, and it happened. The whole country became standstill. That, okay, fine. We never named it that, okay, a Hindu killed a Muslim lawyer. No, we didn't. We didn't do that. So if we were eager to do it, then we could have instigated, which of course the Awami League sitting in India wanted, that a riot happens and so that it justifies. And I think some politicians are doing it to justify the fact that their miserable failure with everything, with Sri Lanka, Nepal, Maldives, and now Bangladesh. Indian foreign policy failed miserably. And they're trying to justify some cookie points that okay, Hindus in Bangladesh are under attack and we must support them and gain some popularity in local politics. Otherwise, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. I invite you,
Okay.
come
Okay.
and come to Bangladesh and see what is going on.
Okay, surely, because clearly the reports that we are receiving, you're denying them squarely and entirely on Indian media. Thank you so much, Mr. Rahman, for joining us on the broadcast. I also have with us Hassan Tariq Chaudhry, advocate of the Supreme Court of Bangladesh, with us. Mr. Chaudhry, I'd like to, of course, begin by asking you the same question. There have been reports now that have come in that no lawyer is willing to represent Chinmoy Das. Why is that so?
Because of the situation, you see, a young lawyer has been killed by the mob during the clash. And there was a common sympathy from the lawyers of that particular bar. And they are very much aggrieved because of that murder, which was very much unfortunate and unacceptable. And because of the fellow feeling from the lawyers community, when there was a killing and the victim is a lawyer, so because of their sympathy and because of their emotions, they are not willing to represent in the hearing before the court.
Okay. I'd also like to understand from you, Mr. Chaudhry, there are videos that are now circulating of Advocate Ramen Roy, who's lying unconscious in the ICU. We've just spoken to a member of Parliament of Bangladesh who says that he's not even aware of what has happened today before the courts. But does this somewhere trouble the people of Bangladesh? Do you not feel that this is a radical attempt against a lawyer?
See, there is a controversy regarding the injury of that lawyer that you mentioned. You see, according to the Bangladesh Constitution, Article 31, it is a fundamental rights for every citizen to represent, to have protection of the law and to be treated in accordance with the law. But there is a controversy that Advocate Ramen Roy, whether he was attacked before the killing or after the murder of the young girls, it is very much unclear. So there need to have some investigation when that attack was happened and how he has been injured, because in the same mob, many lawyers who belong to Hindu community and as well as from the Muslim community, both sides are being injured and attacked. So it was a mob basically, because when Sadhu Chinmoy Das brought before the court and the bail was rejected, there was a common reaction from the lawyers who were aggrieved of the rejection of that bail. And dominantly that aggrieved lawyer naturally belong to the Hindu community, and they are very much aggrieved and reacted, and the mob was created because of that event. When they resisted the police van to transfer alleged Chinmoy Das to the jail, it was not accepted to them. So on the basis of this crisis, a clash was occurred and many people injured. There were attack and counter attack. So there was a complex situation at that time.
Okay.
And at present, it is very much difficult for any person to identify who the attackers belong to, which community or which groups of the community. And the situation in Chittagong, basically, particularly the attack, the nature of the attack is based in hybrid nature. The attackers are both theocratic and communal, and as well as there are some political instigation. So it is very complex and it requires a serious investigation.
Yes. But Mr.
So
Chaudhary,
that
Mr.
the
Chaudhary, I want to
actual
understand from you.
perpetrator can be.
Okay, Mr. Chaudhary, are you receiving any information about lawyers in Bangladesh receiving any sort of threats against representing Chinmoy Das?
No lawyer has complained yet to the court or to the government authority that they are being threatened because of their professional position, because of their judicial position in favor to represent the alleged Chinmoy Das in the case of sedition. So far I know there was no official claim or official complaint lodged before the administration that they are being threatened. But there is a news in the social media and newspaper that dominantly the Hindu people and the lawyers who belong to Hindu community, they are being threatened from many corners. But as a matter of fact, it is true that Bangladesh is facing nowadays a very much volatile situation, and situation is deteriorating and worsening every day. And you see in the attack on Bangladeshi Assistant High Commission mission in Agartala also aggravated the communal harmony and the situation in Bangladesh, and people are very much aggrieved in Bangladesh because of attack in Agartala, Tripura.
And people in India are very much aggrieved,
there
sir.
is a
People in
serious
India are very much
tension.
aggrieved by the attacks that are taking place. But I want to understand, Mr. Chaudhary, do you think a peaceful protest demanding protection of Hindus really amounts to sedition?
Not at all, because our constitution, according to the Article 41 of our constitution, have a clear mandate for the people, and also Article 37 of the Constitution of Bangladesh clearly providing the freedom of assembly, peaceful assembly, lawful assembly by the citizen of Bangladesh, irrespective of religion, whoever it is, Hindu or Christian, Buddhist or Muslim, it's irrespective of their religious identity. According to the Article 37, the people have a fundamental right to have a peaceful freedom of assembly. So our existing law does not prevent the Hindu people to demonstrate for their demand peacefully in the street.
Mr. Chaudhary, before we let you go, sir, one last question. Is it fair then for Chinmoy Das to not get representation and be lodged in jail till next year?
According to the universal maxim of law, according to the rules of natural justice, every convict or every alleged person has a fundamental right to be represented by his lawyers. So if it is not happening here in Bangladesh, it is not fair.
Okay, all right. Mr. Chaudhary, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. That's all the time that we have. I thank both of our guests for joining us to take that conversation forward. A very short break on that note.